Here's another example that I want to speak to. There's no video here. I wish I would have taken a video. This is a high school statistics class. Speaking of statistics, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. I had the opportunity just last week to be in this office space and have students present their end of term project, which was a project undertaken by the entire class, where they divided and conquered a relevant, meaningful task that they identified in survey data regarding the school climate at our high school. Looking back at data that had been taken by a large firm, we contracted, we had this school climate data, important data. The students looked at that and they said, that's great and all, but it doesn't give any actionable, we don't really see anything actionable that's going to make a difference for us in those data. We just see big questions and we can't connect it to our daily life. So this classroom of students conducted their own random sample survey of 200 students in our high school. And the focus was, again, school climate and students feeling safe and feeling part of a community. They were measuring those two big ideas. Am I safe physically and emotionally? And do I have membership? Do I have belonging? To watch these students present an end of term project, and we've all been there, right? So I recognize I'm preaching to the choir, but the relevance that was here when the students then turned around and said to myself and our principal, Dr. Atherton, we expect you as the principal to do something with these data. These data are leading to certain conclusions about things that the adults in our school can do to improve outcomes on school climate. That site council is going to implement some of the suggestions that came from the student statistics class and go back and resurvey that same student body again in 12 weeks. And I somehow in my mind, I believe that it will cause a change and inspire these students even further that their work was meaningful. I never had that experience that I recall in high school, and that's what our kids need today to be able to envision a relevance after graduation. Speaking of relevance, I looked this one up. In today's vernacular, right? Relevance means applicable, appropriate, connected to matters of importance, intelligible, meaningful, understandable. I did that etymology just as Jay did earlier. And I was blown away. I had no idea, right? So the Oxford English Dictionary tells us the history of the word is born out of ideas like nourish, to be nourished, to educate, to raise, to lift up. And I believe that we have that opportunity. We won't nourish and lift up just by teaching the state tests. We have to inspire with career-related relevant learning. And again, I recognize I'm preaching the choir. I'm going to share a couple more slides and then I'll wrap. This is a quote that I heard recently: you can't be what you can't see. Marion Wright Edelman, who was the partner of Dr. Martin Luther King's in the civil rights movements in the 60s, it rings true for me today. So when I think about fifth graders on through high school having career-related learning opportunities, we've mapped out what those can look like for our students and looking to have our teachers not only aligned to standards, but have project-based learning that's relevant is what I believe will be necessary for that transformative change so that schools are not just transactional, but transformative.